Mace need to go on a diet. He need to get his life together. He need to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back nigga look big around the neck, waist look crazy. I'm body shaming this. You heard? He need to go get his shit together, get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me. He gonna need it. You did?
What's good for Double XL? I'm Joey Etch. New York is in the building today because fresh off the release of his brand new album At the Church Steps, I have the absolute honor of being joined by the legend Jim Jones. Capo, thank you for taking the
Hey,
time.
what's up, my brother? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Congrats on the album. How you living on release day?
Um, Shit, I'm in my closet trying to find some sneakers to wear for today.
Is that like one of the hardest decisions you make in any given day?
Shit, you tell me.
That's unreal, man. That's unreal. You have so much conviction in everything you do, but you know, the kicks is a big problem. That's hilarious. Yo, on days like this, hustling around this and that, when's the point that you get to take a breath and soak it all in?
I don't. I was just telling my wife, like, nobody's letting me sleep today. Like, yo, I shit you not. I didn't even get no. I had to work out at 7 in the morning this morning after I got home from a long day's work because my schedule's been so crazy. I haven't been able to work out the way I need to. And
Mm.
now it's like, yo, ain't nobody letting me sleep. Everybody call me about that, which is a great thing. But they like, nah, it's no time to sleep.
What's the temperature been like now that the project is out? What types of things are you hearing about it?
Oh man, um, everybody's been calling me with good things to say. It warms my heart to just know that after all these years and things like that, like I really still got some motion out here. Like yo, because it's hard out here. None's easy, and none's given out here. Period.
Yeah. Of course, you're still out there because you are one of the most consistent rhymers in the game. You very rarely ever miss at all anytime. So, and you chose the At the Church Steps as the album's title, right? And it's
Yes,
actually the 20th anniversary of your first album, On the Way to Church. So,
yes.
what's the correlation between the two titles, and what does At the Church Steps symbolize to you?
I mean, on my way to church make me feel like I mean, I'm a church baby. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like I grew up in the church, Sunday school, all night prayer meeting. So every Sunday we was on our way to church. You know what I mean?
hmm
Now I feel like I got that much closer to God. Like you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm at the church steps spiritually wise throughout my journey. I feel like I'm getting closer to Him. I feel like I'm understanding myself more. You know what I mean? Like knowledge of self is key and things like that. But having faith is the biggest key. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yo, yeah, and it really comes across in the album too. Just both that knowledge of self and just right down to the real gospel sounding soulful stuff. Um, and I gotta say, man, I told you, like you've proven time and time again that you're maybe one of the most consistent and and ill rappers of all time, and in my opinion, even more so than ever in the past 7 to 8 years. Where does the new album rank among your catalog? How you see it?
The new album,
Yeah.
oh, it's a good one. It's up there. It's up there. It's up there with the first one, matter of fact. Because you know the first one is your rawest album. That's your first bit of getting out the street or whatever your circumstances was. So a lot of your music is so raw. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but what been going on in the media lately with everything you'll be seeing has a lot to do with the beginning of my journey. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
It does.
I had to switch this album up a few times, and the last few songs I put on it reflects my journey in a whole. So it's like damn a full circle moment in a way when it comes to the music and the sound of the music. But I'm very excited, man. I'm happy that people calling me. I'm happy that they're not letting me sleep. Like I'm just loving it.
Well, so to that point, you've been heavy on the rollout for the past few weeks, and I'll tell you what, I need to get out to LA, hit a Marathon Burger immediately, and get me one of those chopped cheeses. It's your
Oh, you want the chopped cheese? I ain't gonna lie, they smash burgers fire, but you gotta go get the chopped cheese. You
well,
gotta go get the chopped cheese.
it's your menu item, and you're calling it the Harlem Special, right?
Yes,
How did
yes.
that? How did?
Actually, the Jomo special.
Okay, all right. How did that come to be, and how was it to link up with Nipsey's crew on something dope like that?
Well, I've been out. I was out in LA, working with Kanye on some fashion stuff. I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah, shouts to Ye, man. Dope individual. My brother from another. While I was out there doing with him, lunch break, it was like Nip new burger spot opening up today. Like, what? Pull up. We over there. So his brother Sam ate a burger. Then I asked him why they ain't got no chopped cheese on the menu. He like, you gotta show us how to make it. What? Of course I know how to make a chopped cheese. They let me make the chopped cheese in there and show the chef, and now the chopped cheese is on the menu.
That's the most New York thing I ever heard out in LA. So, like you said, off rip on the album from the very beginning, you go right in, pause, with Jomo, and over a fire static selector beat, you were talking that talk, obviously addressing all types of things you got going on, specifically with Cam and Mason, in terms of the whole whether you're from the Bronx or the Harlem thing. Like, why
Yeah.
is that such a point of contention?
I mean, I don't think it's a point of anything. I think when people put negative energy in the light, people just run with it. Yeah. The media, social media is not about anything positive. You know what I mean? It's about going viral, catching people's attention and things like that. You dig? So I try not to feed into that because I know there's a big reality. There's a big difference between the two. You know what I mean? But even though
Sure.
I got to live in the two for business wise and things like that, but for the most part, I try to stay away from all the social media and digital antics if I don't have to partake in them.
Sure. Do you feel like the interborough thing matters in today's landscape of New York rap?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, well, of course you claim where you from, like where you. But then again, it ain't where you from; it's where you at. But Harlem and Bronx is like synonymous. I mean, they like brother and sister, sister and brother, twins, cousins. Like it's like nine times out of ten, if you from the Bronx, then you spend a lot of time in Harlem. If you from Harlem, then you got a relationship in the Bronx, or you a hybrid like I am, going to both places.
Yeah. Yeah. Legend in two boroughs, right? You said it yourself.
Yes.
And it,
Yes.
obviously, the line before that, you touch on what you've said before about, teaching you rhyme structure and all that. And what are your thoughts on where Mase is at in his career and just his hip hop legacy in general, being that you've been someone who has consistently put out quality music for so long?
Need to go on a diet. He need to get his life together. He need to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back ass nigga. Nigga look big around the neck, waist look crazy. I'm body shaming this nigga. You heard? He need to go get his shit together. Get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for playing with me. He gonna need it. You dig?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, someone who goes to the gym at 7 o'clock in the morning. And if that's the case with me,
Bad body. He look like when they be like big back, bad body, taco eating, stew. That's what he remind me of. Slap the popcorn out of me. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm just,
all right. All right.
I got an album out. You heard? We gonna do whatever.
Of course.
Algorithm.
Of course, without a doubt, without a doubt. Now, in putting together albums like this in a time when people are just dropping loosies and chasing the streams that way, like, what's your approach to the sequencing and producing these complete and cohesive projects just like this one?
It hasn't changed since the beginning of making my album and things like that. You know what I mean? It's a certain feel I like to have on the album. I want it to be seamless, going from one record to another. I just want you to enjoy the journey without having to skip any records or without having to wait for any motion and things like that. You know what I mean? Like it's sonically, my sonics it's a way. I don't know how to explain it, but it hasn't changed since my first album. If you ever listen to all my music.
It hasn't. But what's the key to like constantly evolving that sound and involving that pen game?
You gotta be in it. You gotta be in the now. You gotta know how to reinvent yourself to what's going on. I'm a little older, so it's not like I'm trying to chase the younger generation, but I'm trying to chase that fine line where we both can. You know what I mean? We both could help each other out. Like you know what I mean. So it feels good to be able to have the youngsters enjoying my music just as much as the old people. Like I don't see too many people that's in that position that's getting the best of both worlds. So I'm just grateful to be able to be in that position right now.
Yeah, that's very true. So you've always like throughout your entire career have evolved yourself, but at the same time, you've always had a lot of up and comers under your wing. And this
Yes.
album showcases that too. Dice Peso, Keen Streets. Like, what does it mean to you to serve as like the OG mentor to some of these younger rhymers?
Something I wish that somebody would have did for us when we was coming up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I wish I had a mentor that I looked up to and believed in and things like that coming up. But they was acting funny the same way a lot of these A lot of these artists act funny with the youngsters now. They give them a lot of a hard time and tell them their music ain't shit or hip hop ain't the same. But yeah, it's not the same because it's not our time. Our time has went and gone. So how dare you shun the youngsters coming up and talk about their music because you're not in the now right now. You know what I mean? So who are
Sure.
we to criticize what they got going on if they love it? There's way more of them than us. You know what I mean? So what's up?
Yeah, I can understand that. And like also, but outside of just the music and the rhymers being on the come up, um, you know, there's a lot of things you do outside your work with the youth so much. Like what's been good with your AAA program and the work you've been doing with Reebok and
Uh,
Shaq?
AAA program, academics, athletics, and attendance. Shouts to Reebok and Nautica and a few other brands that helped bring this program together. Definitely shouts to Reebok and Shaq. These kids now, according to those three things right now, can accumulate points where then those points will be transferred to a prepaid cards, they call it, and there'll be money on there where they can go to these sites and buy the drip from off of these sites. So they get an incentive to learn. We didn't have those incentives, but I do know something that these clothes and these sneakers cost a lot of money, and a lot of these parents don't have it to afford to buy the clothes and pay the rent and all that. So me being from the same walks of day was just think about things I wish I could have had when we was coming up and think about how much money the brands got. And now look, we got something that the kids can look forward to coming to school, something that make them want to go to school. And hear a lot of people saying we paying them to do something they're supposed to do. We're not paying nobody anything, but there's nothing wrong with an incentive in all walks of life. And incentive does feel good on whatever you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that the point system with the incentives and things.
Because I was incentive was to do good when we was younger. Anyway, you come home with an A report card, you get sneakers at the crib. You know what I mean? So it's the same difference with these. Now we just doing it with these brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up. Now, is that through Vamp Cares or is that something different?
That's through Vamp Kids. Shouts to Tonya, E4A. So it's I will graduate. I've been working with them for the upwards of 10, 15 years now. I started doing high school programs with them. So when I got the opportunity, when Shaq called me about him, hear me talk about the program I wanted to do, and they told me they wanted to do it. Tonya Lewis was the first person I reached out to because I know she understands the Skype of high school and the students, and she's been helping them graduate and putting on for them since I met her. That's how I met her. So it was like a perfect marriage.
That's what's up. Yes, what's up. Yet another real interesting thing you got cooking is the IFC, the Influencer Club.
IFC, the Influencer Club. Yeah, shouts to all my IFC members. Shouts to everybody come out to our events. I do an event for all influencers every month. It's a non-artist event, not to say it like that. There'll be artists there, but those are my close personal friends. I do believe influencers have just as much power as artists nowadays, maybe even more power than the rappers, and they even some of them even more cooler and more famous. But with that power, there's money in that power. There's community in that power. There's so many things within that power that these influencers have. So I just want to help them to understand the power that they have and the money that they can be making from the things that they already started.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of hip hop culture and the way that influencers, like you said, are becoming more and more part of the culture, what kind of trends do you see moving forward in the influencer space?
Oh, I don't know about the trends. I see they doing a lot. Like you see, like the Kai Senate and the
Mhm.
Mac Kid and Aiden Rowe. Like you know what I mean. They've created a lane that they've turning themselves into multi millionaires. So it's like I'm not in that space, but just to watch what they're doing, they're gonna give me some ideas of what maybe I could do in that space to make me some money like they're making. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a at the church steps film in the works too, right?
Film is done. Shouts to all the comedians and influencers that played a part in it. Shouts to my man Reggie from Bad Boys 4 and things like that. It's a great movie. It's a comedy drama musical. I do believe people are definitely going to like this very much.
When could we see that being released?
Hopefully in beginning of
Okay.
April.
All right. Dope. So it's been 24 hours. Did anyone put up the 10 million yet for the fight with Cam?
I ain't see it hit my account. I ain't get a call about it
Do you
yet.
think that fight's actually gonna happen?
I mean, shit, didn't they just get 30 million? They got 10 million to spare if they they believe in themselves like that.
All right, if something like that does happen, what will that settle between you and Cam?
I don't know what it's gonna settle. I'm about to box, nigga. Let me stop. I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? I do a lot of things to get shit off my chest and shit like that. That's something I very meant, I meant from the bottom of my heart. But you know, not nothing that I'm gonna dwell on in the media, go back and forth about. I said what I said. I know one thing for sure. That nobody really wanna box right now. So
Nobody wants to step with Jim in the ring. Well,
I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying it don't make no sense. You heard?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
But if they want to make it make sense, dollars always make sense. So holla at me with 10 million. You heard? We can meet anywhere. The corner, the elevator, the boxing ring. It don't matter.
yeah. Now I understand not wanting to like pot shot in the media so much and things like that, but it does come up a lot. And then the fans are really attached to it. They're attached to you, they're attached to Cam. What seems to be from your angle the public perception about the long history with Cam? Do they feed
I,
into it? Do they
I don't know. I can't tell you how the public feels. You dig? I can tell you what I see and what I see on TV. I got eyes too and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you know, the truth can't tell a lie, and the lie will never be able to tell the truth. I promise you that.
does it bother you that there's constant conversation from the outside about you and someone you were close with like that?
No, you know what that did to the algorithm? You know what that did for me going viral? I've been viral for like 40 days straight. And
Yeah,
I'm using that in the positive. My, got records just dropped, got record added to radio, show money going up. Like, what? Say my name some more.
true.
Show you another trick. You heard? Keep saying my name.
Yeah.
Show you how this algorithm really works.
Now it's working, but with that, do you ever feel like you might be discredited as one of those key members of the diplomats through all this
I
stuff?
could never be discredited. I made the diplomats. I was never an artist. I am diplomats.
Right.
Cam is Cam. Diplomats was us. I am diplomats.
Yeah.
That shit started with my house. I wasn't an artist. I'm a CEO. I'm a partner. I'm one fourth member of that shit. You heard? Like that shit started with me. Period.
For sure.
Hands down.
For sure.
You heard?
Yeah. Now you've been rocking the "Make Diplomats Great Again" campaign. Who owns the rights to that logo? Is it trademarked through you? Like how does that work?
I don't know what you talk about, brother. You sound like you trying to get me some type of legal trouble.
No.
The diplomats, you heard? As long as you see the diplomat logo on there, anything else is irrelevant. You heard?
For sure, for sure. Now, with so many like prolific business ideas and creativity, and at the same time, the pen game is strong, how do you keep it all straight in your head? Like, one. And two, like, how do you find such constant motivation to always be creating something new?
We can't stay motivated, stay consistent. Stay consistent is gonna bring you a lot of motivation. You heard?
Hmm.
Everything is about keep working and keep your head down and keep working. You know what I mean? And hopefully something will work for you.
Yeah,
Or
for sure. Now, so much of the album is themed around your standing in both hip hop and in the streets. When you came into the game, though, like New York rap wasn't really built off that gang culture per se. But now there's flags in every part of every city, all over hip hop, too. What are your thoughts on that? Why that is? And what does it mean to hip hop on, say, like a larger scale?
it was no way to get around the gang culture that was
Mm,
going on in New York, and me being affiliated with it, and it spills out into my music. I would say that for New York City and for the East Coast, we the first person that gave people a commercialized look at what that gang culture looks like in New York City. So I've made a lot of money off the gang culture. Not to say that's a good thing or a bad thing, but in term of that, me looking back at what happened, makes me it makes me feel like I need to always stay giving back and things like that because I got a chance to take a lot. You know what I mean?
for sure. And, you get to position yourself in that place of positivity, I would assume, in that world.
Yes.
So the album rollout is done. Everybody's feeling it, but you also said you've been working with Ye a lot. We know you were out with Kanye in Japan, and I
Yes.
heard you on that snippet with the game. By
Yes.
the way, I don't know how I feel about the Eagles shout out after your run with the
You're
Giants.
you're an Eagles hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm just a Giants fan.
Hey, I'm a Giants fan too. The Ballin was the record that the Giants won the Super Bowl with.
I'm
Yeah.
very well aware.
Eagles is an East Coast team. And when my team can't win it, I gotta go for what team is on the East, what team is closest to my team. You heard? And I got a lot of Philly partners out there. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my Philly guys. Appreciate y'all for bringing that thing back to the East. Maybe next year Giants might get in it. But right now, Just like the Eagles be balling, just like the Eagles be balling. You heard me?
Yeah, that song sounds crazy, and like you've clearly had a an affiliation with Ye throughout your entire career, both you have, but it hasn't been as much of a highlight for either of you as it is like seems like right now. So, what's the relationship with Ye like right now, and what are you working on? Will you be on his album this year?
I haven't worked on any music with him. He was dissecting my album the other day, but I've been working on fashion with him. Fashion, fashion, fashion. We've been doing some dope stuff. I'm excited to get back out there to finish on my fashion journey and things like that. He believes in what I got going on with the fashion. As you know, for the past 20 years, I would say that me and him been leading the culture when it comes to fashion and the drip, and he's taking off by taking it by storm, by being able to turn that into a commercial dollar for him as he's made billions of dollars off of selling sneakers. That was one step above what I could do. So to see him egging me on to really do the fashion like a teacher that knows that you're smart enough to do it. Like that's how he be at me and things like that. It's kind of crazy how it goes about it and shit like that too. It's like damn, I don't know too many people that believe in a lot of the things that I do, and it's to see the passion in him about him believing in me and shit like that. It really feels dope.
And it's interesting, it's like with every few years, every cycle or so, Ye aligns himself closely with different super dope artists, right? It's been Ty Dolla Sign, it's been
Yes.
Playboy Cardi, it's been
Yeah,
Fivio.
that's what I'm saying. They look at everything else, but about all the good shit that Ye do. You know what I mean? People he help, put in great position, help make some great money, help. You know what I mean? Like he's a solid one. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely a solid nigga.
Why is right now the right time for you to align yourself with him and him align yourself with you and things like that?
You said it. Time don't
Mm.
lie. And I told you, a lie can't tell the truth. It's not nothing it's not contrived. It's something that happened all organically and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it just happened, and our relationship just got deeper and deeper that fast. Even though I've known him for upwards of 20 years and things like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
you
get
never
that.
can tell what's going to happen when the universe is moving. You just got to leave it in the universe's hands.
Now, you talked about how Ye is your guy and how you said this yesterday, you don't have to agree with everything your friends do or say to be tight with them. But is there anything that someone like a Ye or anybody else really could eventually do or say that would make you distance yourself from them?
If they disrespect me as a man, you heard? But what they do personally in their own time will never take away from how I feel about them as a friend or a brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So at the church steps has all the introspective street stuff and crazy wordplay and the gospel vibes and all that. But there's also plenty of bangers, right? Like shit still in Harlem on the drill vibes, white lines with peso, walking on business, and dope boy both go off. Those beats are crazy. Are you ever in the headspace where you want to get that next hit for the charts?
Nah, I just want to make good music that makes me feel happy. I do the music for me first. An artist can't do any art for the people. It has to be for themselves first. So that's my perspective on it. You know what I mean? If I don't love it, then I don't want nobody else to hear it. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody else to see it. You dig? And I put out a body of work that I really love. And the people seem to be taking that body of work the same way I love it. You know what I mean? I feel like I got a hit already. You know what I mean? So a commercialized hit doesn't necessarily it's the end all be all of you being a successful artist. You know what I mean? Like as you
Yeah.
see these kids digitally rapping circles around some of the big artists. I mean, you might not know who they are, but then you go to they touring 30 states and making big money and they filling up arenas and shit like so. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
for
all like
sure.
the eye of the beholder. It's so many angles in this game right now. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to lose if you know the ins and outs.
Yeah, and you haven't lost much, and you did talk about your hits on the versus conversation yesterday. Have you pinpointed who you want to go hit for hit with?
I don't really want to go with anybody. I'm just saying if that were to happen, whoever goes up against me really has to be very creative if they don't have the hit capacity that I have inside of New York City. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just too much. It's my city. And
mm,
the culture that we know I'm affiliated with is very strong in the city. And this is what held me up for so many years. You heard?
yeah,
This shit is Bible when I'm kicking to them. You know what I mean? So, and they always show up and show out for me. You dig?
yeah, for sure. Now you were called 50 Cent called you delusional today, based on that response. Like, how do you respond to something like that?
I don't even give a fuck about what 50 said because I had nothing to say about him. You heard?
Mhm. Yeah.
Period.
How about shows? Like I know you got dates, but is there a specific Church Steps tour in the works you're lining up?
No, we in the works of putting a tour together right now. I got a bunch of spot dates though. I've been turning down a bunch of spot dates. It's just a lot. I mean, but I'm great. It feels good to be in this position all over again. It feels like deja vu the way things are happening right now. I mean, so I'm definitely grateful.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, this has been dope, man. Is there anything else you want to plug, talk about, get off your chest, anything like that?
Oh no, I got the store, the Jomo store downtown. We doing the in-store tomorrow. I don't know if this is coming out tomorrow, but y'all pull up on me. The album's out right now. The movie will be out in about a month or so. Clothes is coming out. New line, the Uchi line, the Double O. That'll be in stores right now. We got all couture pieces if you want to pay for that price. Television, movies, whatever. We into it. You're gonna see a lot about up from us this year. I promise you.
Bet. Well, thank you for dropping such a fire project. Of course, thank you for your time. You'll make sure you check for Capo's new album at the Church Steps, wherever you get your finer hip hop. And Jim, thank you again for taking the time. What I'm sure is a crazy rollout day.
It is. I'm about to start right there.
Bet. With the legendary Jim Jones, it's Joey Edge for Double XL.
Have a good one, bro.